My name is Chris Dow, this is Around the Sun We Go, and my wife and I have been living full-time on the road in our RV for the past 3 years. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you what you've all been waiting for, a full tour of our traveling home and office. So welcome to our 43-foot traveling home and office. As you can see, it's a pretty big RV. Just for reference, I'm 6'3". My dad calls me a behemoth, and I can't even reach the ceiling, so there's plenty of space in here. The RV is split into 3 main living areas, the first of which is what we're standing in now, which is the living room, dining room, kitchen area. When you first walk into the rig, you're gonna see the Lippert OneControl touchscreen panel, which allows us to control every major system in the RV. And this same interface is mirrored in an app on our phones, so we can also control everything wirelessly from anywhere close to the rig. You can also choose to connect your OneControl system to the internet, and then that way, you'll be able to control everything from anywhere in the world. Mr. Worldwide. Here we have a nice full-size kitchen with an island and plenty of solid surface counter space. We also have 2 covers for the sink here, as well as a residential style faucet with a detachable head. We also have a nice residential style refrigerator here with plenty of space in both the freezer and the fridge. But what's really cool about this unit is that it has the ability to run on either AC or DC power and can switch between the 2 automatically. So if the power goes out, the batteries will automatically kick in and keep everything cold and frozen. This is the first of many redundant systems we'll come to along the tour. Redundancy was a huge factor for us when it came to designing our full-time setup because we knew life on the road could be unpredictable. That broke. Dude, oh my God, we just hit a power line. And we wanted to be prepared for as many scenarios as possible. Now, that brings us to the cooking setup, so we'll get into that right after you smash the like button. Here we have our microwave / convection oven. It's full size. We can fit full size pizzas in here. We do it all the time. We also have a propane stovetop and a propane oven, which also contributes to the redundancy. So if we're running low on propane, we can use the electric oven to cook. If we're not connected to a full power source and we're trying to conserve batteries, we can use the propane to cook. Also, if one breaks, we can use the other. So just a lot of redundancy overall there. We've got storage all over the place, more than we'll ever use or need. And then we also have a pantry with a built-in light strip. And in here, you'll see that it has nice little ledges. So when we're driving down the road, all of our stuff doesn't fall out into the floor. And then up here, I've converted this entire lower shelf into our all-in-one charging station. I mounted a couple power strips to the back wall, and then I have chargers for our power tools, walkie-talkies, weather radios, camera batteries, drones, a USB charging station with cords for our GPS, TPMS, every specialty cord you'd ever need, all in one place. Another quick side note, all these cabinets have these roller catch latches so they don't open during travel. As you can see, they're a little harder to close and open than regular cabinets, but they keep everything tight and secure. Mommy likes it tight. Behind this door, we have our distribution panel, which contains all the breakers for our AC system and all the fuses for our DC system. Then behind this cabinet, we have a few other items, the first of which is our sound system. It has Bluetooth, USB, auxiliary. We can play CDs and DVDs to the TV. It also has 3 independent speaker zones, one in here, one outside, and one in the garage, and the levels can be controlled independently on those. We also have 2 subwoofers, one behind the couch and one outside under the rig. They both produce a ridiculous amount of bass, and we can control that here with these knobs. We can also control all of this wirelessly from our phones. And then we have a few other items I added on after we took delivery. This is our hardwired EMS or electrical management system, which protects our entire electrical system, including our appliances and electronics, from any type of issues like lightning strikes, power surges, or for example, if we plugged into a campground receptacle that's been damaged or incorrectly wired. Then this is a control panel for an inverter / converter combination unit that I have installed in the basement. So we can use our batteries to run the entire rig without ever having to start the generator or be connected to any other power source. I also added 3 additional batteries, so on a nice cool day, we can go a good 6 to 8 hours between charges when we're both going full blast on our computers, or even longer if we're just hanging out and watching TV. And then this right here is a battery monitor that shows all kinds of stats for the batteries, but most importantly, the estimated percentage charge and time remaining. It's Bluetooth and transmits all the data to my phone wherever I'm at, so I can literally be lying in bed, see that the batteries are getting low, swap to the OneControl app, start the generator, see when it's done charging, turn the generator off, all without ever leaving the covers. Down here we have this awesome vacuum system built in right near the floor. You simply sweep the dirt up, lift this flat with your foot, and then it sucks it all in.
Thing sucks!
It also comes with a hose you can plug in here and all kinds of attachments to get in every nook and cranny. It reaches all the way down from the very front to the very back, so it's super convenient and we don't have to carry any other vacuum. And then as you can see, we chose the dining room table and smaller couch setup. You can choose between this and what's called a super couch, which is just a couch that goes all the way across the entire slide, which might be better for families, but for us as a couple, the dining room table has been super useful. We eat lunch here, we plan out trips and activities, and it's just a great place to sit and talk and enjoy the 180-degree view of wherever we might be at that time. This originally came with 4 chairs here at the table and 2 stools under the bar. We took the stools and a couple chairs out, put those in storage, and that just gives us a lot more open space. And then here we got that T-Pain collection, AKA that Thomas Paine.
Yeah, everybody wants to sound like T-Pain, it's fine.
Look.
Both sides recline and we have these little removable tables on each side. We also have a cup holder, and then each seat has built-in massage, theater lighting, heating, and a USB charging port. Then we have a 50-inch TV on a swivel mount that's connected to an Apple TV, a PlayStation. We also have it connected to our external roof antenna so we can pull over the air channels. And then there's also a cable hookup. So if your campground offered that service, everything's pre-wired. All you need to do is plug it in outside. And then down here we have a nice cozy fireplace. But it's not just for looks. This is also an actual 1500 watt electric heater with thermostat. This is the first of 3 redundant sources of heat we have in the rig. We also have a propane furnace, which is the most powerful form of heat, and that just blows from floor vents throughout the entire rig. And then third, we have an electric heat pump, which is located inside of the main AC unit. That essentially just allows us to pull any heat from the surrounding outside air and pump that inside. So we have 2 sources of electric heat and then 1 source of propane heat. Plus we have the seat warmers and lots of blankets to keep us super toasty, even in the single digits, which we have experienced a few times. Again, redundancy. If one system breaks or we run low on one type of fuel, we have other options. So this is our main AC unit. It's ducted throughout the entire ceiling, so it blows out of multiple air vents. We have 3 ACs total, 1 in here, 1 in the bedroom, and 1 in the garage. Having 3 units not only provides the maximum amount of cooling, but it also gives us another layer of redundancy in case 1 or 2 of the units breaks down. We'll still have at least some form of cooling until we can get those fixed. Our unit also came with a WeatherTech 4-season package, which includes heavily insulated floors, ceilings, walls, and a few other features. We also have dual pane windows, which not only help to keep the heat and cold out, but they also cut down on noise. Most of the windows also have retractable blackout shades that provide an additional layer of privacy and protection from the sun. And then if things get super toasty, we can also shade this entire side of the rig with our awnings, so lots of layers of protection from the sun, heat, and even the cold. Most of the windows also open, and they came with removable screens for keeping the bugs out. We also have 3 exhaust fans, 1 in here, 1 in the master bath, and 1 in the guest bath. Not only are they great for removing smells while cooking, but also for removing humidity during showers and built up heat during travel. We have a few more cabinets up here with shelving, and then up here what's designed to be a loft. It originally came with a detachable ladder and a thin mattress pad. It extends from this wall all the way to the very far wall. There's an independent light switch and a swivel enclosed AC vent, so it could be a nice place for a kid or 2 to hang out, but we put the ladder and mattress in our storage unit and just use this entire space for additional storage of bulky items like yard tools, tripods, and my guitar. So that is the entire living room, dining room, kitchen. Next up, we're gonna head to the garage, which is separated by this sealed and tinted glass door, which is also pretty soundproof. As you can see here, I've installed 2 giant desks on each side. We have plenty of room for our 27-inch iMacs, a couple battery backups, a couple printers. We also have plenty of workspace for anything else we want to get done. But what's really cool about these desks is over here, we can take them from sitting to standing within seconds. This lift system is called the Happy Jack, and it originally held 2 couches that could fold down into a bed, as well as an additional platform with a mattress that was a second bed. So from the factory with the Happy Jack system, you could sleep at least 4 people back here. But our plan was to use this room as an office from day one. So upon delivery, I removed the couches and the mattress platform and then used the same brackets to install these desks on. Up top, we have another TV that can fold down and tilt. You'll also notice 2 storage cubbies. We use one for storage, but the other is dedicated to our industrial grade mobile internet setup. I won't go too far into details, but we essentially have 3 layers of cellular redundancy, 1 layer of satellite redundancy, 6 layers of modem redundancy, backup power, an external roof-mounted antenna that can pull from multiple cellular and Wi-Fi networks, a satellite dish that can pull from any open view of the sky, and then also a cable modem for any time we find ourselves at a campground that offers wired internet. So as long as we can get at least one connection to AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Starlink, an external Wi-Fi network, or even a physical cable, we can take that connection and broadcast it to the entire coach. Since we run our business from the road, reliable internet was a day one necessity for us, and I actually designed most of this system out before we even took delivery of the rig. We also have a super tiny guest bathroom back here. It does have a toilet, sink, and shower, but the particular design of this shower makes it a perfect mop sink slash mudroom. It's a great place to temporarily store wet boots or shoes or a mop or anything else damp. We can also hang any of our damp swimming suits or workout clothes from the original curtain rod, turn on the exhaust fan, close the door, and air will enter from below the door, up past the clothes, and evaporate the humidity and smells out through the roof. We also keep all of our cleaning supplies, trash bags, brooms, mops, etc. in here. Then you can see the AC unit on the ceiling along with 4 adjustable vents. Again, these are also connected to the ducting, so anytime we run the heat pump in the living room, there's some heat pumped into here as well. It also has a propane furnace vent under the bathroom door. We have 6 LED lights on the ceiling, and then we've installed 2 multicolor LED strips here at the back, which give a nice vibe, especially at night. Here you can see our 3-season garage wall, which allows us to lower our rear ramp door and enjoy a full glass wall view while keeping most of the bugs, wind, and temperatures out. And then out here, you'll see that we have our ramp door set up in the patio configuration, which is essentially just like our own little private balcony. The patio system is an add-on from the factory. It includes these railings, these support cables, and also an extra awning here on the back that can extend over the patio, and an LED light strip. So without this add-on, this would simply just be a ramp door that folded down to the ground and nothing else. And speaking of the ramp door, we also use this rear room as a garage for hauling our daily driver, which is a 2019 Fiat 500 Abarth, also known as Crew Dragon. But otherwise, that about does it for our garage slash office space. So now let's head upstairs and check out the master suite. So this is the bedroom, the master suite. You can choose between either a king or a queen mattress. We chose the king for obvious reasons. We have shelves on each side of the mattress for our phones and glasses at night. We have USB outlets there and here. We also have AC outlets on both sides. And then we also have 2 reading lights with independent switches. We also have a nice soft headboard so we can set up, read a book, or watch TV. For entertainment, we have a third TV here, which is a 32-inch with built-in Roku streaming. As for storage, we have a dresser with 6 drawers. We also have a huge cabinet over here and then 3 shelves that go all the way to the floor. You can also lift the mattress up and there's a ton of storage under here. And then we have this closet with a couple mirrors that just makes the room feel a lot bigger. Inside we have a decently sized closet, at least for an RV. We've got a long rod to hang our clothes on, and then we have a small shelf up top. And then on the back wall we have additional shelving that goes from top to bottom. We have all this floor space. Then it also extends deep into the left here, so we can store even more things. Over here we have another closet, which from the factory comes with a bunch of shelves and extra storage space, but it also has a hot and cold water hookup with a drain, so we opted to convert this area into a stackable washer and dryer. We had Lazy Days, which is the dealer we bought the RV from, include the unit and the installation in our deal before we even picked up the rig.
Tell me you need a washer and dryer installed or no deal.
Facts.
So as soon as we came in, these were installed and ready to go. We have 4 LED lights on the ceiling controlled by this switch, as well as 2 lights over the headboard. And then speaking of the ceiling, as you can see, it's a lot lower in here than it is downstairs, but I still have room to lift my elbows, change my clothes, things like that. Again, I'm 6'3", so most people will have plenty of room in here. We also have plenty of windows all around, so lots of natural light. Again, all these windows are insulated, they have bug screens, and then they also have the blackout shades for keeping it nice, dark, and cool, even in the peak of summer. Temperature is definitely no issue in here though, because we do have a dedicated AC unit, and because the room is so small, we can get it absolutely freezing in here. As for heat, we have a propane furnace vent down at the floor, as well as the ceiling vents that also pump in some of the heat from the heat pump in the living room. And then because we're on a higher level, the heat likes to creep up here from down below, which is great in the wintertime because you can stay nice and toasty. But if you want to keep that heat downstairs, you can just pull this curtain closed and it'll stay down there. But yeah, I think that's about it for the bedroom. So let's move on to the master bath. Oh God, my knee pump.
You do all this with your legs, but I can't see it, so it's pointless.
It's pointless. Oh. All right, redo. So let's move on to the master bath. So down the hall and to the right, we have the bathroom. Now this is probably one of the biggest concerns I had about moving into an RV full time, especially as a 6'3" big guy, because I didn't want to be sitting on the toilet and banging my legs against the wall or breaking my back just to rinse my hair off. But I was pleasantly surprised when we started looking at the larger fifth wheels, because a lot of those have pretty decent sized bathrooms for something that's a mobile unit. And so you can see here, this is pretty much a residential sized shower. It's got a nice heavy duty sliding glass door. And then inside we've got a seat, shelving, and a shower head that's pretty tall. So I'll hop in here to give you an idea. Like I said, I'm 6'3". I have plenty of arm room. I can rinse everything off. I can rinse my hair without breaking my back. And then another thing, this shower has a very solid floor and it's not soft and spongy like some of the smaller RVs we've looked at. This is the stock shower head that came in it. I can also take it down and I use it to clean soap scum or whatever else needs a good rinsing. So that brings us to the turlet. We have a pretty standard RV turlet here. These are not like residential turlets.
I just found the 20 in the turlet.
You took that from the customer turlet?
These have a foot pedal you press down halfway to fill with water. And then when you feel you have enough, you just press it all the way to the floor and it drops the water down into your black tank or your sewage tank. But as far as size, I can comfortably sit here. My knees are not banging up against the wall. I have plenty of room and I can really just relax and get the job done. Over here we have plenty of countertop space, a pretty deep sink with a residential style faucet. As for storage, we have our medicine cabinet here with a good sized mirror. We have 3 shelves in here with ledges so our stuff doesn't fall out during travel. We also have a big cabinet over here that goes pretty deep both ways. We can pack that full. We also have a couple cabinets down here, so plenty of storage in the bathroom. We have 2 LED lights here on the ceiling, as well as a swivel enclosed AC vent that's primarily powered by the bedroom AC. It is connected to the ducting though, so it does pull heat and cold from the other units. And then for additional heating, we have a propane furnace vent down here at the floor. Then we do have a skylight in the shower, which is made with this nice prismatic material. So even if it's dark and gloomy outside, we still get good light in there. We also have another exhaust fan here, which allows you to let out all the smells, of course, but most importantly, it allows you to let out all the humidity when you're taking a shower. And then finally, you can see the door slides shut here and it's magnetic, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so plenty of room in the bathroom and another very functional space. Now, before I forget, I also wanted to talk about safety a little bit. We do have multiple carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, and fire extinguishers installed throughout the rig. Most of these came stock, but we did add on a few extras just to be safe. Now, that's the entire interior of the RV. So let's head outside and check out the passenger side or front side of the rig, AKA the party side. So here you can see our 3 main awnings, which give us almost 40 foot of shade. Each awning has adjustable pitch and built-in LED lighting. And speaking of lighting, we also have a front and rear amber colored porch light, a white floodlight, and then we have front to back LED mood lighting under the rig. Both the awnings and the lights can be operated wirelessly via the OneControl app, as well as via the touchpad and switches inside. We can also fine-tune the lower LED mood lighting to any color. We can make it blink or pulse, or even do a rainbow light show. We have a front door and a back door, but because we rarely use the back one, I removed the folding steps from underneath and replaced them with a storage box that we keep all of our straps and bungees we use for loading the car in the garage. Both doors have a separate screen for keeping the bugs out. And then here we have our exterior entertainment system, which includes these 2 waterproof speakers, another 28-inch TV under this door, as well as the 12-inch subwoofer underneath. Again, all of this is connected to the interior stereo and cable hookups and can be controlled wirelessly. And then here we have our main baggage door, which gives us access to the pass-through belly storage, which goes all the way across. As you can see, there's tons of space in here for tools, supplies, and anything else we might need on the road. We also have a propane furnace vent here, which keeps the belly nice and heated so nothing freezes, even in the single digits. There's another hookup for the vacuum system, so you can bring the hose down here and vacuum this entire area, or even use it to vacuum out your vehicles. Behind this door is the first of our 2 30-pound propane tanks, and then this is our front bay with the generator compartment. Here you can see our Onan 5500 gas generator, which can easily power the entire rig, giving us not only the freedom to explore off-grid, but also the redundancy necessary for us to feel comfortable running our business and life from the road 24/7. And then over here we have the Victron Multi-Plus inverter/converter unit that I installed, along with 300 amp hours of battle-born lithium batteries, which gives us that 6 to 8 hours of juice I was talking about without having to run the generator.
Hold on, they're lithium.
And then here we have the stock battery that I deliberately kept isolated, so if we ever accidentally drain the battle-born system too low, we'll still have an entire battery with enough juice to start the generator and recharge everything. All right, so you've seen the front bay and the entire front side, which is where we like to hang out and party. But the back side now, that's where we handle that business.
You know what I'm saying? You know.
So this entire side of the rig is the business side, and it's where we manage a majority of our major systems. First up, we have our second 30-pound propane tank along with an automatic switchover valve. I simply point this knob towards whichever tank I want to use, and then once that tank is empty, it automatically switches over to the other tank without ever interrupting the supply, and the indicator turns red to let me know it needs to be refilled. I can then remove the empty tank and have it filled at my leisure. Then if we open this up, which is the other side of our pass-through belly storage, you'll see here the control panel for our 6-point auto leveling system, which is absolutely awesome. We use these buttons to raise and lower the front of the rig as needed when hitching to the truck. What's really cool is once we're unhitched, we can simply press this auto level button here, and the unit will automatically raise, lower, and tilt itself with all 6 legs in order to perfectly level and stabilize the entire coach. Then when we're ready to leave, we can simply press hitch height and it automatically undoes everything so we're ready to hitch up again. Over here is our wet bay, which is where we manage all of our water connections and wastewater dumping. It has the Nautilus system, which is super simple to use. We just look at this diagram and whatever we need the water to do, we just flip the switches to that configuration. Up top, we have an outside shower hookup, an electrical outlet, and then all the cable and satellite hookups. You can also see another small propane furnace vent here, which helps keep all this nice and warm during freezing weather. And then electric tank heaters were also installed from the factory on all of our water tanks, which keeps them from freezing as well. The front black tank and both gray tanks are dumped from down here, while the rear black tank is dumped from back here. We also have a couple storage tubes mounted under the frame here. This is where we store all of our poop chutes, stinky slinkies, and turd tubes, so they never have to enter the RV.
Turn it on!
Then we have our fuel station. There are 2 30-gallon gas tanks back here, so 60 gallons total. We can see the tank levels on this gauge here. We can also see the front tank level within OneControl since it feeds the generator. The rear tank here has a built-in pump and nozzle, so it can be used to fill up our car or anything else that might need fuel, but we mainly just use it to pump more gas into the generator tank, giving us a good 70 to 100 hours of runtime between fill-ups, depending on how much we run our ACs. And here we have a fold-out ladder that gives us easy access to the roof. And then that's it, a full tour of our 2020 Grand Design Momentum 397TH.